Has all this solo stuff meant for the band? I mean, there have been reports in the English press that, you know, maybe there'll be another album, maybe not, and the band's pissed off because you've gone, you know, and done this solo thing. So anything to that, or?
There was never a fight within the band. The press created the whole thing. It started in the English newspapers. I got it by the wonder of facts. It's all Ovi for Bon Jovi was the headline. I will never forget it. Richie's disgruntled, Tico quit. Yeah. And I'm going, I haven't talked to the guys in about 6 weeks. I wonder if the band's over. You know, and I hadn't talked to anyone to find out for sure. So one thing led to another, and it started to get ugly. Yeah. You know, and it was because we were all reading the press. So we got together, you know, for Dave's wedding, and it was really great to see everyone. Yeah. You know, I don't want it to end. There's one truth of the whole matter is that even if the band broke up today and I was lucky enough to continue with a solo career that was as successful as the band's, I could never do Giant Stadium for the first time. I could never do Russia or Castle Donington or have a #1 record or do anything for the first time. We were 5 kids from a garage that no one bet on, that no one thought would ever happen, and you know, and we've always been that underdog, you know. So even if, you know, I was to be lucky enough to be luckier than I have been in my life and to sit on a stage with Elton and Jeff Beck from now on, well, there would probably be 5 managers, 5 business managers, 5 airplanes, and it would become a business. And that scares the hell out of me, that we were becoming a business. No. And it wasn't like, let's sit around and churn out hits, but it was, well, we have to go to this shareholders meeting. And we'd sit around and go, what? And it became a drag at the end of the tour. Not during the tour, but after it. Yeah. That it was like, we have to go talk about deals now, and we have to do this, and our management deal, and our record deal, and everybody just sat around going, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. No. You know, let's not. So I want it to stay together, but only if it's fun.
Do you think there'll be another album?
I want it to be. You know, I want there to be another album, absolutely. Yeah. You know, I want it to be bigger and better than we've ever been. But there for sure, there definitely are not any plans to run in the studio and do one.
I wonder how Richie is doing. He hasn't gone to L.A. on us, has he? Or is he still a down-to-earth guy?
He lives down the street, actually.
Oh, good.
But he's got a place out in California, and I've spent a little bit of time with him in the last week, and you know, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, Richie's got a heart made of gold that it's so hard to believe that he's that nice of a guy, you know, that I question him sometimes. Are you really this nice, Rich? I've known you too many years. You're still too nice to me. Something ain't right here. You know, I mean, he's legitimately, you know, just a fun-loving guy who wants to be in a rock band.
Yeah, so he hasn't gone to Hollywood or anything like that?
I don't think so. No, I really don't.
Now, you've spent some time out there over the years. What do you make of the L.A. rock scene as opposed to the East Coast scene? It's very different, is it
Very
not?
different. Very, very different. And it's only from an outsider's point of view because I never, you know, played that scene as, you know, it's growing up or anything. But with the strip and those clubs that existed and the kids handing out flyers constantly and working the streets, and they have to pay the clubs to play there. Here in Jersey and where I grew up, it was very much eclectic.
Did you start sneaking out? You had to go to bars to see bands in New Jersey, right? Yeah. Definitely. Did you start like sneaking in at an early age?
Oh yeah, I was 16. I was 16 when I first started sneaking into the bars down on the shore, and down in Asbury there was a place called the Fast Lane. And I remember, real well seeing Tico, as a matter of fact, playing with a band called T-Roth and Another Pretty Face, opening for David Johansen. I was 16, you know, and so you go to school the next day and you see, you know, what'd you do last night? I watched Dallas. What'd you do? Man, I saw this cat, David Johansen, and he had these flame flowing. And, you know, he had these, like, T-Roth had these things that exploded fire in a club that the ceiling was as low as your house, you know? So he'd be like, fire, and then you'd see, like, the roof, you know, and you go, wow, he singed the roof. This is great.
That was around the punk period. Did punk ever make it down to New Jersey, or was it just kind of dismissed?
No, it definitely did. There was bars in Long Branch that that were exposed to that. There was a kid that I knew that had a band, you know, that was way into that. And in fact, the guys that I grew up with, their big brothers, were way into it. So like in '77 and all, when the Ramones hit and the Sex Pistols and all, that's how I was exposed to it, through someone's older brother.
You were never drawn in that direction, though, I guess.
No, I would listen to it, but I never fell in love with it. You know, I heard it. It was all a part of, you know, growing up. You'd sit out in the basement, you'd smoke dope, you'd drink beer, black lights on, you know, hope that the kids' parents, you know, didn't mind, and we were exposed to the Pistols and the Dead Boys and the Ramones and, you know, all that stuff down there. Sure, absolutely.
Did you, was Springsteen a big, like, thing to all the guys that were playing on the shore down here? Like, wow, he's really made it big. We can maybe follow in his footsteps, or was he gone at that point?
He was already, well, granted that I'm 28 years old, he was already on the, what was it, like 79. That was after that Darkness album.
Yeah.
So he was already playing arenas, you know, and the Jukes were like next in line, and they were just at that point when Hearts of Stone happened, so they were happening, you know, and there was still the quote-unquote Jersey scene, you know, there was something here. I don't know how he was looked upon, to tell you the honest-to-God truth. I mean, he'd come to the bar and drink beer like anyone else, but I don't think they made such a big deal because he was just one of the local guys.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a fair...
Well, it's very New Jersey, too. He's able to just go to the bar.
Oh, you know, there's no doubt. I can go anywhere here and play or not play. It doesn't really matter.
So you can't see yourself moving to Malibu in the near future or anything like that?
Not me, no. Mm-mm.